Welcome to the Hot Chicks Write Hot Books podcast with Jen Foster and Melanie Johnson, where authors give you their inside secret tips on how to be a successful best-selling author.
Hi, this is Melanie Johnson from Hot Chicks Write Hot Books podcast with Jen Foster. We're co-hosting. Today we have a special guest, Tonja Oria, that's here with us. But first I want to tell you that we are sponsored by Elite Online Publishing. If you'd like to get your book published and have it marketed, we are happy to do that. You can find us at eliteonlinepublishing.com. And if you'd like to go on a book writing retreat with Hot Chicks Write Hot Books, we go down to a villa down in the Dominican Republic, and you can find us at Hot Chicks Write Hot Books. So today we have our special guest, as I mentioned, Tonja Oria. She has written a book called Forgiveness Through Redemption, and she is one of our authors from Elite Online Publishing. And we're here to talk to her today. She is an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, and she is just a fantastic person and a close friend. We're so happy to have you here today, Tonja. Thanks for coming.
Glad to be here.
Well, tell everybody a little bit just about your background and who you are and where you came from.
Well, I like to call myself a serial entrepreneur because it's just in my blood. I've done a variety of different things. I currently am involved with 4 websites with my daughter, and I'm recently got into the insurance business, which is kind of a little bit of an outreach for me. I never thought I'd be in insurance, but here I am. And now obviously a book writer. So that's a little bit about me. My background comes from real estate, interior design, the fashion industry. So I'm a little bit all over the place. So that I call myself a serial entrepreneur.
That's very cool. And you were Mrs. Texas.
Yes, that's correct. 1996 was Mrs. Texas.
That's so cool. Fellow pageant girl. I was Miss Michigan as well. And isn't she beautiful?
Wow.
She looks gorgeous. So tell us a little bit about the writing process of how you came up with the idea for your book.
Well, the idea came way long before the actual the book came. Obviously, it was a passion. It just kind of, I had something deep in my spirit where I just felt like I needed to write a book about forgiveness, and it all kind of came together little by little, with you guys' help, of course. But it started way back. I started journaling, and there was just something deep within. I knew I needed to get my story out there. So that's how it started.
Cool.
You have a passion to share your message.
Yes, I wrote the book within my heart that if it can help one person, then I've done my job. So I hope that it at least can help one person.
All right, so explain the process, because everyone is curious how people write their books. So you were, we were so excited to have you down at one of our book writing retreats. So explain to us kind of how that all went step by step of how you pulled your book together.
Well, I think the outlines that you guys created, that was a big, even though I'd already journaled, I was a little bit ahead of the program. I already kind of knew my name of the book and had journaled. The outline and kind of organizing the chapters, like I had written and I knew what the chapters were going to be, but didn't know the order of the chapters. So that helped me tremendously in just getting everything outlined. And then after we filmed the interview, that also helped with organizing. I knew what I wanted to write about but I wasn't as organized as I needed to be. So you guys helped in that way.
Yeah, it is a really great process that we take you through, because a lot of people have a lot of ideas or journals and things that they want to do. And down there, we kind of pull it all together for you and getting your chapters and the sequence of everything. And then what we do is have you go through an interview process where we talk about what you've told us. And so you get to actually say almost everything that was in your journal, and then go back and combine the two things together. And we have them transcribed, and then you go through an editing process. Talk about the editing process a little bit.
That was several steps. Like you said, the interviewing, that helped a lot. And then picked my editor. It was very obvious to me. You guys gave me a list of quite a very nice list, but it was real obvious who I needed to go with after the personality. And then we had a few conversations on the phone, and then he got the transcript, and we just began the process. So that was pretty simple. It wasn't
and
really,
it goes back and forth a couple times. Some people think that they do it just once and then it's over with, but usually you do have to do a couple go at it.
Well, and when you see it on writing, in writing for the first time, it really gives you a clearer picture on how you, in your mind, have envisioned the book. So obviously, going with you guys to the Dominican, in that process, the beaches certainly helped me clear my mind, and the pool. So that's a good thing.
That's true. And jumping off a few waterfalls along the way.
Yes.
process just because once you get it back from the editor, then you can take a look at, where you need to add more story, or where you need to add more description, or where you need to maybe add more depth to what you had already written. And that's why I really like how the process works. And it wasn't like, I know a lot of people, when I tell them we do a book writing retreat in 6 days and you get your book done, they're like, there's no way. Like, how could you write a 150 or 200 page book, in 6 days? And then I have to explain to them, well, we actually have a process where we're recording you and transcribing it and then filling in the blanks.
It becomes very obvious. I think you're right. When you see it, I realized when I'd written certain chapters, okay, I need a little bit more content in this, and I forget certain stories and certain things that I wanted to talk about. But once you read through it, you just keep adding to things, and it's organized. Like I said, organization is the key in getting it done. And that was for me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good.
So that was the big help down there, was getting it all organized.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then feeding, you have minds that you can feed off of. You're picking covers. Right. I had pretty much a vision with what I wanted on the book, but kind of reaching out to your fellow authors and you guys team, saying, what do you guys think about this and this and this? That helps in the process. You're getting how your book will be perceived with your team.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember during the retreat, we started clicking in on your social media and with the book cover, and just see even the look on her face just right now. It was just a thrill. Oh my gosh, so many people like me. Explain like how that process went for you and how you felt.
Yeah, I got very positive feedback from people that, some people knew I was writing a book, some people did not. Mm-hmm. So the process of that, and I think that social media is obviously a huge tool in promoting your book and in just capturing your audience, but not only your audience, but your audience's audience, mm-hmm. and reaching out and growing your outreach there. I mean, not to get into that right now, but I think that's huge.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we do want to talk about that. If you want to talk about that some.
Sure. I mean, it's. I think that's, you don't really realize how much of an outreach that you have right within your fingertips. Mm-hmm. And you start with your LinkedIn, with Facebook, with all this, Twitter, whatever it is that you're involved with, and you can really get a strong following.
Yeah.
Right.
So what we did down in the Dominican was we set up Tonja's Facebook page and her other social media, and then we posted on there her book cover and shared it on her personal page to let everyone know that she was writing a book. And the feedback, like you said, was just amazing. And it was really fun to see all of the different comments come in and all the different things that people said. It was really good.
It was so exciting to see you trending. All of a sudden, it's like we kept looking at the numbers, refreshing. Oh my gosh, there's 200 more. There's another 100 more. And it was just so exciting to see the trending that was happening, but people were sharing with their friends of friends. But right. Also, it was so exciting for you to have that support and emotional support. I think it gave you that boost and extra confidence that you are doing the right thing and going in the right direction.
That's correct. And then I was still working on the final edits at that time. Mm-hmm. So it gave me a little bit more confidence. Okay, I'm taking the right road. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And then when we first launched, mm-hmm. That was a little bit of a shock that day for me. I was a little bit in shock with reaching #1 so quickly. I didn't really want to. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you're right?
Yeah. So what we did was we set Tonja up on our bestseller campaign, and we had a virtual party to launch her book and let everyone know that her book was for sale.
And it was exciting. She also had a live party at her home with friends and family there. And so again, we kept refreshing the page. And I think part of you thinks, like, we tell our authors, we're going to do this bestseller campaign for you. We don't put a guarantee on it, but we've been 100% with all of our authors so far. And knock on wood, we want to keep that going. So it's like you believe it, but you don't really believe it. And then even when you get it, you're like, really? Did it really happen? So you were probably thinking, yeah, it might not be, I might not get it. I could see you were kind of doubting that day.
And then when you get the books delivered to your house and you get the little gold sticker right here. And you see it, you're touching it, mm-hmm. you realize, wow, this just happened.
Right.
This just happened.
And it really validates who you are. It's one thing to launch a book, But when you're a #1 bestseller, it validates that you are an expert in that field. It validates that people appreciate your work. And it says out to the community and the world that, hey, I have something to say and people value it because I'm a #1 bestseller, not just an author of a book. And the author is huge to begin with, but to add that little gold sticker on there really means a lot.
Yes, we like the gold sticker.
Yeah. It's true. So tell me, what have you been doing since your book has come out because of your book?
I have, I've been on an international radio show. That was Earl Littman had me and interviewed me. That was a wonderful experience. I enjoyed, I didn't expect that. It was just a little out of the left field a little bit, but I've done that. I've got some things coming up where I'm speaking to a couple of women's groups, very large women's organization, and a couple other things, churches. Some churches are coming up. So it's little by little. I've been so busy in with my insurance projects right now. I'm kind of coming up for air and going back to the book a little bit.
But think about how it feels, I think, just having gone through what you went through and going to the Dominican for the book writing retreat, coming out with your book, being a #1 bestseller, how that maybe has changed your confidence when you're walking into these offices. You're telling me they're $300 million companies and you're pitching. That's got to do something for your confidence, knowing that you have that.
And I've learned too, I keep an extra book in my briefcase because it always, if it comes up, it just, when you hand somebody the book, it gives you a little bit more, not that you're not credible, but it changes perspective on things. There's a different level of respect, and they receive it very well. That's what I've, some of the board meetings that I've sat in on, they're like, wow, that's very cool. And then it opens up a whole level of conversation, and you're getting to know these clients a little bit deeper because you're kind of breaking down the barriers or the profession. I don't even know what you would call it.
Well, I think an author is perceived different than just someone who's coming in to pitch something to them.
Right.
It changes your level of credibility to them and puts you in a whole different arena or category. And especially as a woman, because I think, especially you're a real attractive woman, you're Miss Michigan, Mrs. Michigan, and you've got all this other stuff.
You were Michigan.
Texas, sorry, Mrs. Texas, Michigan. And, so as a woman, sometimes it's harder. You're walking into boardrooms with predominantly men.
Yes.
And to get that other level of credibility and expertise, I think it pushes you into that level.
It does. It definitely changes. And a lot of times you'll meet some of these CEOs and they've written books too. And then so that's a whole other level of different conversation, and it's just building that corporate relationship in a different way.
Yeah.
It's been really good. Yeah.
Well, I think it's really interesting too that, your book isn't about insurance.
No.
Here you're going and you're selling this, but it's still validating you because you are an author and you have something in common now because, like you said, some of them are authors. And it's great too because they can see, oh, great, well, now I understand. Now they can understand the whole picture of you because they see what your book's about. And they're kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I get her now,
Yeah, especially your book, because it's a spiritual book. So it brings a whole nother part of who you are.
Yeah.
And they're saying people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So you don't have to tell your whole story to them because it's a very personal story. You have it in a book that you can share with them, and they can thumb through it and look and see kind of your experience. And we did a whole thing down at the book writing retreat about being vulnerable. And when you let people see that vulnerable side of you and share your story, it really makes them feel close to you. And almost everybody has gone through something in life. And what's really great is Tonja has overcome, her story is really about forgiveness and overcoming some of the obstacles that life has thrown her. So I think people relate to you on that level.
I agree. And going where I'm in insurance now, as I've told you guys, and the president of the company, I just recently was at his home with he and his lovely wife, and he shared his testimony with me, and we obviously connected, and she shared her testimony with me. And he said something that's really profound to me, and I connected to how I view things. And he says, you can become bitter or better in life. And I said, my goodness, that's kind of the whole basis of how I feel, and that's why I wrote my book. Yeah. So we bonded in a different way, and he's written a lot of stuff too. So that was a connection, and it's
that's
here we are in the insurance business.
And see, it opens doors for your message to create about something spiritual, not just about business. So it's kind of like twofold. Tell us a little bit about your story that's in the book, so people get an idea of when they pick up your book what they're going to get, and just give us a little flavor of what you think they're going to get out of it, and maybe one of your stories from there.
I can personally say that I've probably experienced all highs and lows of life, and in every capacity, and have learned to navigate my happiness and my centerpiece through learning to be content through all of those circumstances. And the whole basis of my book, and when you guys read the book, is doing all things through love. And even though I've had to pick up and I fall on my face so many times and saying, okay, I'm gonna have to get up and do it all over again. I'm gonna have to get up and do it all over again. But there's a lesson there, and it builds your character, and it really, through all those obstacles and challenges and trials and whatever you want to call it, all along, my wings were being grown. I was like a little caterpillar for a long time, and then all of a sudden you can become a butterfly, even through severe adversity and all kinds of things. So that's kind of, without getting into the specifics of my story, that's basically what the book's about, and learning to forgive the people that have wronged you, and forgive yourself through maybe not making the best choices or walking the road you're supposed to walk. That's basically what my book is about.
I love that you say it's not just, it's forgiving others, and a lot of times we forget to forgive ourselves.
Right.
So I think that's huge. And if you want to know her inside stories and the obstacles that she overcame, you'll have to get the book. She's being a little guarded and not telling us anything, but she's got a great story to tell of many things that she's overcome with her family and people from outside her family as well. So
you can get that book at forgivenessthroughredemption.com, and make sure you register your book and forward your receipt to the email on that website, because you can also get Tonja's favorite scriptures too.
Okay. So is there any other thing of inspiration maybe that you want to leave our potential people who want to write a book, of why they should write a book and the best way to go about it?
Well, I think you have to search deep within your heart. If there's a little seed that's a little tugging at the heart that you might want to write about, if it's even a little bit there, I think you should need to pursue that, because that's your inner self telling you there's something there, and you should explore that and grow. I really believe in that. Follow your heart, so to speak. If you've got that tug, that's there for a reason. It's guiding you. It's there and it's guiding you for a reason. That's what I think, anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Tonja, again, we can get her book. Let's hold your book up again. We see it, Forgiveness Through Redemption. And you can get it at her website.
Yep, forgivenessthroughredemption.com.
And make sure you do give your receipt, because her scriptures that she's picked out are really special. And I think you'll get a lot out of it. And Tonja, we wish you a bunch of luck with the insurance agency. And I love that she's using her book almost as a business card. Or a brochure, and it has nothing to do with her business, but it just goes to show whatever it is in your heart that you want to write about, it's not just about writing the book, it's about what you do with the book afterwards. It's how you brand yourself and use it to open doors and open hearts and open minds and educate people and inspire them. So we encourage you all to follow that dream that she says. If you have that little voice telling you to write a book, then you need to do it, and we would be glad to help you here at Elite Online Publishing. Or if you'd like to join us at a retreat like Tonja did and be at the beach and dive into the pool in between writing, we're happy to have you join us there, and you can go to hotchickswritehotbooks.com. We usually do our retreats in June. So Jen, anything you'd like to say?
No, I'm just really excited about Tonja's book, and I'm excited about her new her book signing party coming up.
All right. Thank you so much. And please remember to subscribe to us and leave us comments, and share us on your Facebook page, share us on your email, share and subscribe. And again, thanks. We'll see you next time.
For more information, visit hotchickswritehotbooks.com.